Capitalism is killing the planet.
Oh, for crying out loud, no it isn't!
The web of life itself is unraveling at the seams. Economic growth is pushing countless species, including us, given enough time, to the brink of extinction.
I swear if it weren't for baseless paranoid fear-mongering, greenies wouldn't have any arguments at all.
Our pollution is filling the atmosphere.
Then you want capitalism. There's less pollution the more economically free a country is.
And melting the ice caps.
Then you should want nuclear power because that's the only valid solution we have to global warming.
Peak oil is threatening to plunge us into a second dark age.
No, it isn't. We have enough oil for the next 1,000 years. It's just that a lot of it is difficult to get to. Once things start getting short, prices rise, and it becomes profitable to extract oil from those more difficult places. Greenies show once again that they have no idea how markets react to scarcity.
And overpopulation is poised to crush us within our lifetime.
That's complete and utter crap. People congregate in cities because of the advantages they give, like better infrastructure, more services, things like that. But just because clever people are coming up with more ways to put people into a city does not mean we're running out of land. Hunger and starvation are down worldwide. The percentage of the world population living in extreme poverty has been cut in half over the last 20 years, and it happens as more and more countries turn to capitalism. In fact, we're producing more than enough food for everyone. The only reason people are starving is because of tyrannical socialist governments stopping people from creating the businesses they need to create wealth to be able to get food. In fact, the international charity Oxfam calls poverty and starvation, quote, catastrophic political failures. The fact is, if we moved the entire world's population to Texas, which I'm not advocating, and each family has 4 people, then they can each have a single family home with a yard. And Texas is only about 0.1% of the world's landmass. Besides, you want to reduce population growth? You need economic freedom. In Malawi in the year 2000, in poor areas the fertility rate was 6.7, but in richer areas it was only 4.3. Economic freedom causes the fertility rate to converge on 2, which is replacement fertility. If we need to worry about anything, it's declining fertility rates in Europe and Japan, as modern collectivism and social justice destroy the concept of the family. According to the UN, if the current trend continues, half of European countries will lose 95% of their population by the year 2300. So stop with all this crap about overpopulation. It just isn't a problem at all.
Capitalism is a system that is anchored in production of surplus.
Long debunked Marxist crap.
That means that the wealthy produce all that they can possibly sell, not production for what people need.
And here we go again. Who are you to say what people need? Every time a producer sells something, there's a buyer, and that buyer believes that the benefit he gets from whatever good or service it is greater than the value of the money he has to spend on it. Otherwise, he wouldn't buy it. I mean, really, how do you morons think the economy works? How do you think you can have a seller without a buyer? No, this is just you wanting to push your opinion onto other people, telling them what they can and cannot buy. Because like all authoritarians, you believe your subjective opinion to be the one true objective fact.
Industrial capitalism, and even industrial state capitalism.
There's no such thing as state capitalism. Capitalism is the voluntary exchange of goods and services. The state operates through force. It's not voluntary.
Like the collapsed USSR.
Oh, yeah, right. The USSR was capitalist somehow. Funny how none of you cretins were saying this back before the USSR collapsed. In fact, even economists like Paul Samuelson said that it proved that socialism worked just so wonderfully and would last so far in the long term. Then it collapsed, and all of a sudden, oh, it's not real socialism. Just like the crap you people have pulled with Cuba and Venezuela. Do you know why socialists keep pulling this crap? It's because the ones who don't have stopped being socialists, because they've realized what has clearly been demonstrated for a century and what economic theory shows clearly. Socialism destroys incentives, opportunities, and freedom and causes the greatest amount of harm to the very people it claims to help.
Don't recognize finite resources
Capitalism is about dealing with finite resources
until they're used up.
I've already pointed out how this is stupid. As the resource becomes more and more scarce, the price increases, giving entrepreneurs the incentive to find more of it or to develop substitutes and replacements. No other system, certainly not socialism, has found to have any kind of effective means of dealing with scarcity. Only capitalism.
There is no mechanism in capitalism that places inherent value on life.
Because there's no such thing as inherent value. People are free to have their own opinion about what things are worth. Value is subjective.
Profit is still the primary driving force.
There's never a time when that isn't the case. In your case, you took time and effort to make this video. You did that because you thought that whatever benefit you get from having made the video is worth the time and effort you put into it. And that's regardless of whether it's monetary, like with ad dollars or donations. It could be views or ratings or changing people's opinion or whatever. Whatever it is that you value.
The world is reaching the end of its rope. The grand finale is almost here.
No, it's not. There's still another 2.5 minutes left in this crap hole of a video.
What does anarchism, or green anarchism in particular, propose?
You are no kind of anarchist. You would not allow people to engage in voluntary exchanges. You're advocating using force, whether you admit it or not, to make people do things the way you want, to value the things you value, and to not do the things that you don't like. By definition, those are things that are done by states.
We believe the best solution is to move past the entity known as industrial civilization.
Yes, let's move past the only reason we've conquered starvation for the first time in history and have the cleanest environment ever.
This means that we don't believe in production for the sake of production.
Mr. Strawman, give me a break. No one believes in production for the sake of production. Capitalism is production for the sake of what consumers demand.
3D printing is already close to being able to recycle metals,
Thanks to capitalism.
and experiments in vertical food forests have been largely successful.
Thanks to capitalism.
Some of us believe that transhumanism, stretching the limitations of the human body and mind with technology, can be adopted to make ourselves more self-sufficient.
Wow, transhumanism. Just when I thought you couldn't get any kookier.
Green anarchists all believe in a stateless, communist, decentralized society.
No such thing. Communism must have a central state, and I'll explain why. See, this is never a question about what you can do yourself. In a purely capitalistic society, if you want to get together with like-minded people and form a commune or whatever, that's fine, as long as you don't force anyone to join and don't prevent them from leaving. The question is, what are you going to do when other people behave differently? If other people are engaging in buying and selling and hiring and working all of the things that you don't like? In a truly stateless, decentralized society, you wouldn't do anything. There'd be nothing you could do, in fact. But if that's the kind of society you envision, that makes you a capitalist because you respect other people's private property. But you don't. And that means that as soon as someone starts doing any of these things, you'll grab a gun, or more likely have a bunch of goons with guns to do it for you, you coward, and force them to do things your way. And that would make it a state with a centralized economy.
Could we maintain the Western consumerist lifestyle on a worldwide scale, or even for the foreseeable future, in the Western consumerist nations that live this way already? The answer, sadly, is no. A population crash is inevitable.
Give me a date, moron. Make a prediction and stick to it. Why do you idiots never want to do that?
Praying for the collapse like the Second Coming is counterproductive. Live in the now and fight for life itself. Become the rage of our dying planet.
Yeah, you want such a peaceful, stateless society. Not! Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe? And to make sure I can produce more, support this channel on Patreon and Maker Support. And check out all the other great content here, like this video selected especially for you.